Welcome back to What She Says Sports. Okay, everybody, we're back. The midday huddle. That means we're almost there to training camp for the NFL. Now, today we have several topics that we want to talk about. We only have an hour, so we're probably not going to get all of them. We will definitely be back at 9:30. But there's a lot happening here, right? There's a lot happening. First, we're going to start with Cleveland, right? Why? Because Cleveland is just drama personified. That's what the Cleveland Browns are, drama. There is no way, shape, or form that there should be a discussion about Shedeur Sanders being left off the depth chart, possibly being traded, Dylan Gabriel getting a chance to start, Flacco being a quarterback. We don't know what's going on with Pickett. And maybe Kirk Cousins shows up at the 11th hour to push Shedeur even out of Cleveland. That's not the conversation that should be happening. The Cleveland Browns should be grateful to have Shedeur Sanders, a quarterback that could, like Jaden Daniels, take them pretty far, right? We know Shedeur Sanders is a mashup and skill set, as well as, this is overall talent, aura, everything. That's the quarterback that you want. But we're talking about the Cleveland Browns. And that is why you are looking at an image with a mashup of quarterbacks from Baker Mayfield to Deshaun Watson with Shedeur in between, because it reminds people that Cleveland does not make good decisions when it comes to quarterbacks. And now that their Quinshon Judkins situation has emerged, they don't make good business decisions, period. Because had they just re-signed Nick Chubb, then they would at least have a running back that they could rely on. So that's where we're going to start with Cleveland. These people are, in my opinion, hold on one second. In my opinion, Cleveland is doing what Cleveland does, right? Getting it wrong, messing it up. I think the quarterback position has to be the most where you see the most egregious behavior, right? So I think for me, I think they're going to trade Shedeur at the 11th hour when it's too late for Shedeur to go to another team and learn the playbook, right? People like, well, why do you think that? One, you see a million trade scenarios, and it's a whole lot of teams, and it's a lot of analysts putting it out there because people know there's not enough room in Cleveland for Shedeur, number one, and that Cleveland and the NFL are hiding behind that fact, right? Because what is the goal? 17-32. The NFL is still playing keep away with QB1 for Shedeur Sanders. Now they know they have a guy that can make them a lot of money. His jersey sold over $250 million. That's proof positive that they know that. They know they can make money with him. They know that he can take them as far as probably Jaden Daniels, maybe a little further. Who knows, right? Depending on the type of team they have in Cleveland. But that's not what they want. See, people are talking about all of these scenarios regarding Shedeur. Shedeur is a baller. He just go out there and stay ready. That's what he needs to do. But it's not going to change Cleveland's mind. He's in Cleveland from the draft after he was pushed down. You have to remember that. He was also humiliated. So being traded is to make him further be humiliated, right? Because who trades somebody that they just draft, right? Only if they think you're not good. So it's the same thing over and over again. And in my opinion, a lot of people think that Quinshon Judkins' situation is karma for Cleveland. I happen to agree because it shows you that when you do people dirty, right? When you do people dirty, it comes back on you, right? People are saying that what's happening in Cleveland, the type of players they have that are getting in trouble is a knock on Andrew Berry. I'm like, Shedeur Sanders isn't in any trouble. They don't want him either, right? Maybe that is an indictment on Andrew Berry. But see, nobody wants to talk about how good Shedeur Sanders is. Why? That opens the door for what team he should be in, what team he should be playing on if Cleveland doesn't want him. So all of the scenarios floating around are not taking into consideration that the NFL does not want Shedeur Sanders playing QB1. So that's why we're having these conversations. At the 11th hour, I can see them trading him, to humiliate him further, just like in the draft, or even though he's the best quarterback, leaving him, on the bench to just sit there and be, hopefully he get frustrated and quit, right? Because they don't want him there. Don't forget, on about February 20th, the NFL does not want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders. That is still the goal. The NFL does not want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now. They're not prioritizing him. They're not giving him a fair opportunity. They don't care if he's embarrassed. They don't care if he's frustrated. They don't care if they lose. They don't care if he makes them money. They don't care. The NFL does not want quarterbacks, plural, like Shedeur Sanders now. What is quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now? He's a black, elite, QB1, first-year starter. That's what the NFL doesn't want. Nothing's going to change that. That is why Cam Ward is competing, and that is why Miro, they believe, is buried on the depth chart for 2 years. So let's keep that in mind when we talk about all of these scenarios for Shedeur in Cleveland. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen unless the NFL is willing to have a majority of black starting quarterbacks. If we're not going to talk about the truth, then just move on to the next topic. So there we go. Shedeur in Cleveland, he's not going to get a fair shot. He's not going to start. If so, it's going to be one game. It's definitely not going to be a majority of the game, so he could be labeled the starter. Deshaun went through this in 2023. We talked about that. So you got to talk about the truth or it don't matter. And it shows you that they're willing to fumble good quarterbacks because you got Deshaun on this end, and then you have Mayfield on this end. Mayfield was good in Cleveland. But at some point, even he was ready to go. So Shedeur Sanders fans are not upset if Shedeur Sanders gets traded out of Cleveland. It's when and where. Are they going to make him a Geno Smith, send him to trash team after trash team after trash team and make him a journeyman, hold down his salary earnings? In other words, I'm gonna keep kicking you until you quit. Geno Smith said it. They wrote me off. I didn't write back. Geno Smith has not even made over $100 million, but Daniel Jones has. So if we're not going to talk about the NFL's agenda, that the NFL doesn't want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now. They don't want black elite starting quarterbacks so that they can become the majority of the league. Then move on to the next topic. So speaking of the next topic, all right. So Shedeur is having a fan fest in Cleveland, doing what Shedeur does, showing love. There was an apartment complex that burned down. So from like 4 to 8, there's a particular date announced. It was announced on the news. It was announced on social media. He's just trying to show some love to people that are in a really bad situation. Somebody lost their life, a man in that fire. It looks like an impoverished area. So I think it would be really good, what he's doing to just go out there, try to keep these kids' spirits up. I'm like Shedeur. I hate to see kids caught in these bad situations because they can't do anything about it. They can't just get up, go get a job, move somewhere else, go couch surfing. They can't do that. So, he's bringing light to a dark situation. And it just further proves that there's no reason for the NFL to treat Shedeur this way, other than the fact that they don't want the majority of their starting quarterbacks to be black. Prove me wrong. So talking about the trade scenarios now, because Cleveland ain't it, right? The trade scenarios, the teams that have come up, regardless of who came up with the idea. If you pay attention to the teams, it's the Detroit Lions, the LA Rams, the Baltimore, no, not Baltimore. What is it? The Buffalo Bills. I think, the Buffalo Bills. The Saints need a quarterback, but his name has not entered the conversation, even though they need a quarterback. And as we are approaching 48 hours from camp to begin, what is it called? Training camp to begin, Tyler Shaw and a lot of second rounders still have not signed have not signed their contracts. Another first rounder was holding out. He played for Denver, Jahdae Barron. He signed his contract. It didn't say whether it was guaranteed or not. It didn't say if he got what he was holding out for. It could have been the same thing that Travis Hunter was holding out for. I want my signing bonus guaranteed up front, right? So I'd have to go look at the details of his contract, but I didn't really get into that because I don't really cover the Denver Broncos. But I'm waiting to see at the 11th hour how many players are going to still be holding out. So these trade scenarios, right? The Saints Tyler Shaw haven't signed. They have a JUCO champ. They have Spencer Rattler. They can have Shedeur, but they don't want to roll with an elite quarterback. So you don't hear Shedeur associated with the Saints, but the Bills. Oh, he could back up Josh Allen. Now, why would I want Shedeur to back up Josh Allen? Shedeur is a first-year starter, even depicted by the NFL. Why would I want Shedeur, who's a first-year starter, backing up Josh Allen? Chances are he's not going to ever get to see the field. See, you got to see the play. You got to see the play, right? The goal for the NFL is to keep Shedeur away from QB1. So I'm not sending him to the Bills because, for one, if anything happens to Josh Allen, if he slip on a bar of soap in the shower or while he making a commercial, it don't go right, and he end up in the hospital, then Shedeur will become QB1. That's why Shedeur is in Cleveland, because there's no way he's going to accelerate or ascend to QB1 according to the NFL's logic with 4 quarterbacks in front of him. But when you look at who the 4 quarterbacks are, you're damn right he could be QB1. 42-year-old Joe Flacco. People say, oh, Joe Flacco was successful in Cleveland. I'm like, was he? Because he wasn't available when you needed him to be. Yeah, he won 4 games, but he wasn't available for the most pivotal game, and you lost and got sent home. So record-wise, he was, but so is Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is successful in Cleveland, 8-4. Why we don't see him? Because they don't want him to play because he got injured. But thanks to a speedy recovery, he could be back. And they say they don't even want him to come out onto the field. Even he can't even leave the field house. So that's 2. At some point, are they going to declare Deshaun Watson ineligible for the season? Or are they just going to let it linger? See, that's what I mean by you can expect to see a lot at the 11th hour, right? People thought Flacco was going to be traded. I'm like, I don't see, there's no reason for the Cleveland Browns to trade. There's no reason for the Cleveland Browns to trade Flacco. They have rotated 5 quarterbacks before. That's what they will do. So if they keep Shedeur, he's going to be amongst the rotation. Go look at the 2023 season. It's going to go just like that. They probably want Pickett to start and Flacco to close, or they going to want Flacco to start and Pickett to close, and they're going to allow Dylan to start a few games. Maybe Dylan to be like DTR, and then they just going to treat Shedeur like PJ Walker, who, by the way, is in Canada, was successful, won 2 games back-to-back, and they still rotated the next game after that to somebody else. So they didn't prioritize PJ Walker. They didn't develop him. They didn't want him to be the starter. So they just let him play 2 games. And what did that do? It blocked Deshaun Watson and DTR from being named the starter because neither one of them played the majority of the games. In fact, nobody did that year. So technically, you could say it was Flacco because he played the most games individually. But the rest, they just keep instability, weaponizing instability. So I don't know what y'all expecting out of Cleveland. Cleveland is doing the NFL's bidding, keeping Shedeur back from QB1. They don't care if they lose. They don't care how much money they make. That's not the goal, because the goal is to not go into the season and have the majority of the starting quarterbacks be Black. We saw that in the draft. They don't want it in the draft. They definitely don't want it in the season. So if people going to talk your ear off, then make sure you hold them accountable. So the trade scenarios are just that. It's just something analysts are coming up with. If they do trade him, it's going to be to an equally horrible team. So if Cleveland is horrible, who's just as horrible? The Saints? The Giants? Well, you know he's not going to the Giants. You know he's not going to the Giants. They don't want Russell Wilson. So the Saints. Let's see what happens. All right. So still have 33 or 30 some odd. I think it was 39 at one point. It might be 38 or 33 players, mostly in the second round. 30 of them are still holding out. One of them is Quinshon Judkins. All right. So we talked about Quinshon Judkins update. And let me slide in an update about Shannon Sharpe that tells you that this case could end up going the same way. So we talked about Quinshon Judkins has not signed his contract. That means technically, I don't even know how you could say he worked for the Cleveland Browns because he didn't sign no contract. I don't know how you work without a contract. So he will be a holdout. Now, it was reported that the Cleveland Browns are not moving fast to sign Quinshon Judkins. I'm like, okay, of course not, right? Because now you have to investigate. Now there's this case. He probably have 30 days before his next court case if something doesn't change. But just like Cleveland doesn't seem to be working to sign his contract, is Quinshon working to move things out the way so he would be appealing to Cleveland? Is there any incentive for Quinshon to rush to sign a contract that he was already holding out for? Let me know your thoughts. So Shannon Sharpe, I told y'all yesterday, Shannon Sharpe, y'all know he's being sued for $50 million by somebody. He was in a consensual relationship. I read it. She said it got rocky. That was the term she used. They were together for 2 years. It got rocky. It was consensual, but it got rocky. And she thought he tried to abuse and control her. He became abusive and controlling. That's what she maintained, right? So they went to court, I think, yesterday. And I told y'all her lawyer didn't show up. And the judge was disappointed. She had no representation. Again, the 11th hour, the 11th hour. I'm going to push this as far as I can until we got to go to court to see if Shannon is maybe going to give me what I asked for, the $25 million. Now, mind you, they said Shannon offered her $10 million, but that wasn't enough. And now we're going to go to court. So we go to court. Shannon and his lawyers show up, likely Shannon too. And she has no representation. Maybe should have took the $10 million. If he really did offer her $10 million. The question is this how Quinshon Judkins case gonna go? So what I mean by that is we're in a stall pattern here. The Quinshon Judkins is a second round pick, just like the other second rounders. He has not signed his contract. Now he has this case. Now Cleveland is like, we're not in a hurry to sign it, even though they don't have a running back, but they like, we're not going to be put over a barrel and just go ahead and sign him. Because why? He's holding out for what? Whatever the other guys are holding out for. Guaranteed contracts. So should he be in a hurry to clear this up, to sign a contract for less money, and that's not guaranteed? No. People have asked. They asked, do you think that this case has anything to do with trying to force him to sign? Anything is possible. Look at how Shedeur was treated in the draft. See, you can't overlook when people show you what they're capable of. You can't overlook these things because Maxwell Harrison caught a case too. Luckily, he had signed his contract, but it was not publicized. It didn't come out until somebody came at him. He signed his contract, and then somebody came up. But you have somebody in a holding pattern. There are 30 guys in the holding pattern. What do you think the NFL is thinking? This is the first time this has happened. From what I've read from the research, this is the first. So I got 30 guys on my second round. Likely might not even be starters, but they want Quinshon Judkins to be a QB1. So do you think it is advantageous for Quinshon Judkins to settle with this person to make this go away so he can get to the table and let go of everything he was holding out for and probably some money too? So no guarantees and probably a little less money and likely a suspension. What do y'all think about that? So that's where we are with that. That's Cleveland. That's also Cleveland, right? He's the only player on the Cleveland roster holding out. The NFL knew this and still Cleveland Browns knew this and still let Nick Chubb go. So I'm going to assume they have somebody else. I know they have a fourth stringer, but they probably gonna dig back. You know, they say Andrew Berry is good for getting people on the cheap. So maybe they just gonna go get somebody else that's cheap, right? So if that's the case, why you just didn't do that from the beginning? Why draft somebody in the second round if you just got to go get somebody else or use a fourth string? So that just tell me Cleveland don't make good business decisions. I know this young man is holding out. I'm not in any hurry to sign his contract. I let the best running back I had go. And now he got a case hanging over his head. People like, where you think this case came from? I'm like, I don't know. It could be the same thing with Maxwell Harrison. Hell, it could be the NFL. When people show you what they're capable of putting together, the NFL showed you. They gave out Shedeur Sanders' phone number to 2,000 people. It landed in the hands of who they say is the boyfriend of the GM's daughter for the New York Giants. The one team, the only team that defamed Shedeur Sanders, that lied on him. That's not a coincidence. So you have to look at this and go, is this just bad timing for Quinshawn, or does it make him pump his brakes and not sign his contract? Hell, I asked, is this his doing to get away from Cleveland? Maybe if Cleveland, like, we cut him loose, another team pick him up, and then he get what he want. It could happen. It could happen. I don't see why it can't if the teams are truly competitive. But I think what it shows is you have 30 players holding out from different teams, and none of the teams are working to resolve these players' contract. That tells you the teams are working together when they are supposed to be competitive. See, you're supposed to see a holdout on one team and go, wait, why don't you come over here? Because they don't value you, so we do. That tells you the NFL is not competitive. That's what it tells you. It's not competitive. Cleveland not making good decisions. The NFL don't want the majority of their starting quarterbacks to be black. That's what it tells you. So as you go further on the next 48 hours and you see what happens if they keep Shedeur and they don't play him and they repeat the 2023 season and they basically playing keep away with the best QB they have, even if they have a losing record, and they want to put it in Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett's hand, even though they know Shedeur is better, it confirms what I said. The NFL is playing keep away with the QB1 position with elite black starting quarterbacks. The ones in particular were drafted: Cam Ward, Jalen Milroe, and Shedeur Sanders. Only 3 black quarterbacks were drafted in this class out of 13. There you go. So that's where that's at. So you let me know if you think now that this is out there, if this is enough to make him sacrifice everything he was holding out for and sign a non-guaranteed contract, take a suspension. I wouldn't do it. I'd be like, you know what? I got money. See, that's where the NIL money come in at. Fellas, do not spend all your money, because you might have to hold out and you still want to live your life. Do not spend all of your money. Don't do it. This is why. Do not spend all of your NIL money, because once it seemed like when you have 30 people holding out for a contract, it tells you that the next level that you're going to is problematic. So don't spend all of your money, and definitely keep your hands to yourself. Definitely keep your hands to yourself and be selective about who you spend time with as you're getting closer and closer to your bag. There you go. So there's that. So let me see what y'all are saying in here. We gonna see what y'all are saying, because we haven't had a midday huddle. We just talking. So let's see what's in here. This is our first time having a midday huddle. Seemed like I was on vacation. Hey, how you doing? Blessings to you, Crowley. Blessings. Hey, Charlotte, how you doing? It said, let's see. Shy Sky said the Ravens started their rookie training camp yesterday. Brown should have started early too, and they did not. They did not. Okay, so the Ravens started already. Okay, all right. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. So Cleveland just hadn't started yet. I think the rookies in Cleveland report on Friday the 18th. That's what they said. Let's see. Miss Pamela said, I heard Coach Prime is going to Cleveland to support Shedeur. Good. He needs to be there. That's good. That's really good. I like that. See, one of the reasons people pick on certain people know who they can play with. See, they figured Coach Prime not going to say nothing. It's just like the whole Angel Reese and RG3 situation, or the RG3 situation that he created about Angel Reese. And we're going to talk about Shaq's response, which I thought was appropriate, but I felt like it should have happened already. And there's some remedies to this situation from her, because he's harassing her. She can technically get a restraining order against him, and she should. So, I like the fact that Coach Prime is going, but see, the reason why they're doing this is because they feel like the Sanders don't have any recourse. What you gonna do? And see, the 30 guys holding out, or the 39 guys, 38 now, holding out, or basically for the first time that I'm aware of, basically like, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna show up. I'm gonna hold out. What did Shamar Stewart say? It would be a shame to come all of this way and have it not to work out. That's how you have to think. To me, Quishon Junkins need to think the same way. If he know that if he feel like they want to use this to force him into a contract, I'm like, no, I'm gonna go ahead on and I'm gonna be like Shannon Sharpe. I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna stay in shape. I'm gonna go settle this. And like Shannon Sharpe, either her lawyer not gonna show. Cause see, now that she got a police report, she probably looking for a lawyer. Or my police report, I could send it to his mom because she got the mom's number and say, look, maybe we can settle this before we go to court. See, that's what happened with Cassie. Cassie went to Diddy first, his lawyers, and they just scoffed it. They're like, oh, whatever. And then it went public. And then what happened? That's when it got settled. See, a lot of people are seeing, oh, wait a minute, you don't even have to go to court. Because see, you got to hire a lawyer if you want to go to court. This is what's going on with Shannon Sharpe's situation. This girl has no representation. Now, if she's suing him for $50 million and he offered her 10, she sued him for 50, he offered her 10. She didn't take it, right? And then I got to pay my lawyers. Her lawyers might have told her to take the 10 so they could get paid too. But she want to go for the 50. She thinks she got a slam dunk. They clearly do not. That's why they didn't show. So Shannon's lawyers said, well, let's just go ahead on and give it 45 more days. You know what that means? Shannon knows she don't have no case. Because why would you extend it when you're the person being sued? Because he know the lawyer didn't show up because they probably told her, girl, you should have took that $10 million. And she like, no, I want to get the 50. And they're like, fine, we ain't showing up. See, lawyers want to get paid. So now in Quishon Junkins' case, they want to, obviously, they're going to probably try to use that to say, go to his family. That's extortion, in my opinion. It's extortion. That's what I feel like it is. To take a police report and go, well, you know what? I think you should pay me before I go get a lawyer. I tell you what, go get a lawyer. Because see, every lawyer is not going to take every case. That's what these people going, that's responsible for the uptick of these type of cases. That's what they don't understand. Not every lawyer is going to take every case. The Deshaun Watson situation, he had the one case that was dangling out there that came through a different lawyer. Why you think he didn't settle it? Because there's nothing there. Who you think is paying for this person to keep pushing this forward? Very interesting question. Then he still didn't settle it. See, people don't settle. If you know, because that's what they are like, oh, I'm going to embarrass you. That's really what it is. I'm going to let people know you did this, did that, and the other, right? Retzloff case. They probably came to an agreement. Why? Because he ain't been drafted yet. They figure it might hurt his draft stock. He's number 19 out of the top 20 QBs. So maybe if the allegations had come out, because what she alleged, there got to be some photos. He decided, let's come to an agreement. And they came to an agreement and they moved on. And his draft stock is still 19 out of 20 with no school, but he is still in the portal. So there is some type of effect. Same thing with Quishon Junkins. You know, when you look at the reports, his contract, you know, Cleveland is not interested. I'm not interested. They not quick to want to sign him right now. I'm like, well, that's for obvious reasons because there's an investigation. You don't know what to do. But just the mere investigation that wasn't there before changes the dynamic. And now it has likely caused him damages. Reputational damages, financial damages, because his contract, he might not get the guarantee now. Right? So, I mean, if it's going to cost me money and you don't want to sign me and she trying to get money from me, I'm good. I'm going to step away for a year. I have a couple million in the bank. I'm going to step away. I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to deal with this. She want to sue? Let's go to court. Let's see what lawyer takes her case. Because here's the thing. They could settle it right now. He could go to court and he could plead guilty and say, okay, we had a fight. Yeah, I should have kept my hands to myself. Two wrongs don't make a right. Two wrongs don't make a right. But I said I wanted to leave her. I told her it was over in the airport. She followed me to the car. I tried to push her out. That's how she got hit. But she hit me too. Yeah. So We'll see what happens in this case. But in the case of him holding out and Cleveland slow to come to the table, okay, I'm out for a year. I'm out for a year. I'm gonna clear my reputation, gonna be out here. And when this is over with, and I didn't have to settle, and another team is gonna come to me because who knows Tyreek Hill's situation in Kansas City? This is nowhere near that. This ain't even Xavier Worthy's situation. So for anybody thinking this will keep him out the NFL, no. What this is gonna do is change the way he negotiates. He might be like, well, they don't want to give all of us our guaranteed contracts, and they talking about suspending me, and I didn't do this, that, and the other. I know what really happened, like Xavier Worthy. I'm gonna step away from you, just like Shannon Sharpe, and deal with it and come back vindicated. And then let's see how the price looks. You can't be too quick to just, oh, I just want to play football. You've been playing football your whole life. Sometimes you just got to take a break and deal with life, and then come back, stay in shape. It happens. Stay in shape. They finna go get a running back right now, right? Where they got him from? Where they gonna get him from? Off his couch. Where they got Joe Flacco from? Off his couch. So don't be in too much of a hurry to sign a contract that's not guaranteed, that they want to reduce the amount on when they don't even have another running back because somebody brought something against you and you can prove two wrongs don't make a right. Or maybe it's not how it was presented. Xavier Worthy. How you like them apples? Because I wouldn't be forced to sign it. Hell no. Because if we say the average career in NFL is 2.5 in 3 years, you ain't got a whole lot of time anyway. You might as well take a year off, take the season off, deal with this situation, get your reputation intact, make the price go back up, and maybe get to a better team. Because that's the benefit. I see it not working out in Cleveland. He gets to go to a better team. Because y'all thinking Cleveland is a good team. They have proven this organization is inept. This organization is negligent. It's documented. It's this. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't. It is documented. They have a revolving door for quarterbacks. They try to get people pennies on a dollar. They could have had Chubb. They know he didn't sign his contract. What did they think they were going to do to make him sign it? Okay. So he need to put his big boy pants on and don't let nobody disparage your reputation, and don't open up your checkbook if you didn't, it didn't go like it was said. You get to tell your side of the story too. These people don't want to value you. So guess what? I'm going to take some time off and I'm going to deal with this and come back victorious. That's what you do. And show these people that if you think you want to extort me or shake me down with a police report, then hire a lawyer and I'll see you in court. That's what you do. That's what you do. So I'm not worried about that. Thank you, Maku. I appreciate that. That's sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So it said karma is not real. Well, it said karma is real. Does it say karma is not real? I gotta see. Blow it up. Let's see. It said karma is real. Quinshawn was talking reckless to Shedeur. I mean, I didn't hear him say nothing, Miss Pamela, but if you heard something, you let me know. But that kind of worked both ways if you want to think about it for a minute. I thought he and Quinshawn was cool. That's what I thought too. I didn't see no problem. I didn't see no problem between them. Happy Day said that would be messed up. Yep. I mean, I do think if they do anything with Shedeur, it's gonna be at the last minute. Otherwise, they just gonna repeat the 2023 season and let him sit there. So there's no hurry for that, right? That's one thing Shedeur did say, and he did right. That's what Shedeur actually does it the right thing, right? What did he say? I'm in no hurry. I got time. In other words, they thinking, oh, he gonna be hurt if we don't let him get the QB1. He might quit. He might leave. He might do this. He might do that. Well, they know he can't leave because he signed his contract. So they feel like they got him over a barrel. But see, when he releases, I don't need to start this year. I have time. That's the position. That same thing with Quinshawn. That's the position. I have time. Okay. Because too many people come into this league, and with the league treating these players this way, especially black players and not just black players, but black NFL quarterbacks. Don't be in a hurry to sign anything that don't benefit you. It's one-sided. And that's what they're learning. That's why 30 people are holding out. So it's not just Cleveland, it's the league itself. Nola and CU, that hoodie is short. Oh, yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, and everybody knows Shedeur definitely could have went to the Saints. That was going to be a marriage made in heaven, but if it happened, it's going to be at the 11th hour. But I don't think it's going to happen just because of Saints politics. Not that far different from the Giants. Hey, Peter, how you doing? It says, good morning, how you doing? So it say, I may be incorrect, but I don't believe Shedeur is getting traded. Every 5 days, he's going to 7 new teams. Right. It said these lines and straight guessing is very annoying. Yeah, it's called speculation. And nobody, there are people that know what's going on. They on the inside. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade him though. But understand this too. If they don't, then he'll be there and they're not going to instantly hand him the rock at QB1. If something's going to have to transpire where they start losing with this person, they start losing with that person, they start losing or this person get hurt. So it's going to have to be a series of injuries and failures for Shedeur to get to QB1. Now, it's possible. With God, all things are possible. So like Shedeur said, God opened his door for me and I'm not quitting. He shouldn't. I don't think he should quit. See, he already signed his contract. See, Quinshon ain't signed his contract. So Shedeur already signed his contract. It is what it is. He already got robbed. He already signed the contract. And he probably signed his contract because God kicked that door open. Against all odds, they was trying to hold him down to either Mr. Irrelevant or undrafted. They know, and I'm sure it's documented somewhere. And people saying Philadelphia was getting Shedeur. I'm like, if another team could get Shedeur, he would have been gone before midway through the second quarter. Midway through the second round, excuse me. So, I don't think a lot of people are serious when they talk about these trades. I think it's just analysts speculating. What I say, what she said, sports, if they trade him, it's going to be at the 11th hour to continue with the plan away with QB1. If he gets traded at the 11th hour, he don't have time to learn another team's playbook. That means he's going to be immediately benched. Or if he goes to a trash team, he don't have time to learn the playbook and they trash. So he probably just going to be sitting in the back because they'd already trashed. So they're not trying to improve themselves. That's what people are missing with everything that's happening. Quinshon, Shedeur, it's an indictment on Cleveland and how they do business. It's also, Shedeur is an indictment on the NFL and Cleveland when it comes to black quarterbacks. That's the big picture that people are missing. This young man sold $250 million in jerseys, but you still don't want him. To the point, you don't even want to make money with him. And he's done nothing wrong. So what could it be? His melanin. The optics of having the majority of the black quarterbacks be the starters is what's wrong. So are they being openly racist or are they just going to let you figure it out and not do anything about it? I think Detroit will be an ideal place for him to land. Why is that, Miss Pamela? Oh, behind Jared Goff? He will be in the same situation with Aaron Rodgers. And they wanted Shedeur to be QB2. Anytime you can come out and on your mouth and say Mike Tomlin should draft Shedeur Sanders and make him QB2 behind Aaron Rodgers, then that tells you what the goal is, to play keep away with QB1 for Shedeur. Tony is her lawyer. I don't give a damn. Because if he's smart, he would have never been in my damn comments. He would have never been in my comments. So that just tell you he fishing for some information. Good luck to him. Because see, that's what they think, right? They think, oh, we're going to get a lawyer. We're going to shake you down. Extortion is also against the law. Right? And there's two sides to every story. And that's what going to court proves. Shannon Sharpe, I'm going to take time away. I'll be back. I'm going to just take time away. I'm going to go deal with this. No show by the legal team. You see what I'm saying? No show by the legal team. So that's what these guys typically don't do. They typically lawyer up but to settle. They don't typically, like Shannon, lawyer up, take a step away, and go to court. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to, if you don't have a history of this, right? If you don't have a history of abuse, if you don't have a history of battery, if you said it was over, she's telling the police officer, well, I thought we could work it out, but obviously not. How is it obvious now? Because was it not obvious in the airport? Take the time. Your contract is not signed. Take that as a sign. They don't want to do right by you anyway. So why sign for less, have your reputation damaged? Then you're going to be Deshaun Watson. They take pot shots at Deshaun Watson every chance they get, but they never tell the truth that the NFL reimbursed him every dime. And that was the catalyst to what? The collusion case that the NFL was found guilty of, but there were no damages, which means the arbitrator was in their pockets. Yes, there were damages to Russell Wilson's situation. I think they said $81 million in guarantees lost. That's damages. And what came out of that? How the NFL operates, that the NFL Players Association, the leader of the NFL Players Association, was colluding with the damn owners. That's why I said people are missing the bigger picture, the messages that's coming out of these situations. Don't be in a hurry to sign that contract, because your only recourse is the NFL Players Association and arbitration. And look at what happened in this most recent case. And look at why it got started. And look at how they still talk about Deshaun Watson like they don't know the truth. Just like Shedeur. The NFL know they gave out Shedeur Sanders' phone number to 2,000 people and let everybody in the public think it was the Falcons, and it was not. It was the NFL itself. So yeah, I don't give a damn about nobody. Hell, I mean, if you ask me, if you have a lawyer surfing through people's comments, they don't have no information. They trying to figure out what public sentiment is. Well, he know, because a lot of people saying the same thing. It seems like it's a money grab, right? It seems like it's a money grab. It seems premeditated. That's why I said he ain't signed that contract. It's already Cleveland. You will be put with anyway. Follow Shannon Sharpe lead. Follow Shannon Sharpe lead. Lawyer up, go to court. That's it. It said he was better off carjacking a Bugatti than getting a domestic violence charge. That was a felony. You can be smarter than getting off of a situation. Who got a domestic violence charge that was a felony? Who you talking about? Because Quinshon Judkins don't have a domestic violence charge that's a felony. Unless you're talking about Tyreek Hill, then he's still in the league. See, that's the thing. Quinshon Judkins is being charged with misdemeanor battery, parentheses, domestic. I agree with you. I think Quinshon Judkins could continue to hold out for that contract guarantee. Right. I mean, honestly, let's be real. They gave Travis what he wanted. Yeah, he had to go fishing with Coach Prime first. Hell, Deshaun Jackson just got $20 million bond for the Delaware State University after he went fishing with Coach Prime. Shit, maybe Shedeur need to go home and go fishing with his daddy. I don't know. I don't know. I woke up to that. I said, damn, Deshaun Jackson just got Delaware State University just got $20 million for a new field house or athletic facility or whatever. And he just left fishing with Coach Prime. That tell you is people watching Coach Prime, this guy can make decisions. Because that's what he was talking about. You know, I'm staying on the course. I'm doing, we need more support, this, that, and the other. And he got a $20 million bond for a practice facility. You gonna tell me Coach Prime is not influential? Shit, that's who needs to start a league. That's who needs to start. That will be enough for me. I already had enough anyway. But that right there, Travis goes and gets what he wants. Deshaun Jackson gets what he needs for his university. That's why Shedeur ain't worried. Because I wouldn't be worried. Shiloh neither. Hell, I wouldn't be worried. Because all they going to do is push the Sanders to start their own league, pair up with some people who want to start one. See, that's what I see as the next step. That's what I see out of all of these messages that the NFL are sending. When it comes to black quarterbacks, we saw what happened with Shedeur. I see what's going on with Cam. I see what they do in the Miro. I mean, Coach Prime is the head coach at a college football program. You're not gonna be happy to wrap up Juju and just send him to this, right? Wrap up Caden and just send him to this, even though they want to go. It was Coach Prime that said, "Don't be in a hurry to sign. Don't be in a hurry to get into something too quickly that you can't easily get out of." Travis shows up, goes fishing, and on a Sunday, a non-business day, he gets his contract and he gets his signing bonus paid up front. Don't know whether it's guaranteed or not. But the point is, they wanted to piecemeal out his signing bonus. And that's not what a signing bonus is. And they know that. So you got to go in here and fight for what it is that you deserve. That takes the life out of you. That takes years out of you. And young people think, "Oh, I got time to fight." Okay. Take a page out of Shannon Sharpe's book. Step away. Let them figure out what they're going to do. Step away. One thing about Shannon Sharpe on ESPN, he made a difference. He made a difference. So his spot probably going to still be there when he get back victorious. And he gets to hold up a W because he had enough self-worth to step away and deal with it and not be too eager to keep going and staying in the public eye or whatever it is, the gratification. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices before you become a sacrifice. All of the noise about him being sued is quietly discussed. She had no representation. And his team said, "Well, let's just give it 45 more days," because they know it ain't nothing there. The same reason Deshaun Watson didn't settle this last case. And he got all his money back, but they still drag him. That's why you don't let people play with your reputation like that. Prime FaceTime Shiloh to tell him he was coming to practice. Okay, that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. He was coming to practice and then to Shedeur. Shiloh said, "That means I am your number one son." Oh, that's so cute. That is cute. I'm glad okay, so he going to Tampa. Well, we know we're going to see the video with Shiloh too and Shedeur. That's what needs to happen because, see, people feel like they can take advantage of you when they think that there's nobody who's going to stand up for you. That's why you see some of this public bullying. I think the NFL really thought to themselves, what Prime going to do? He need us. He's still the head coach at CU. That's probably what they thought. They had them conversations, I bet. What did Coach Prime say before he was on the Asante Samuel podcast? It's time for a different approach. So they was partially right. He had to think about what he was going to do. It was nothing he could do immediately. You see this one on the screen right here, Angel Reese? That's why RG3 keeps coming for her, right? He knows he never sees her father around, so there's nobody to protect her. He knows the WNBA shows bias towards Angel as a league, just like the NFL shows bias towards Shedeur, right? But who was going to show up for Angel? Shaq did. Yes, he did. Shaq said he told Angel Reese not to respond to RG3. I'm like, well, that means you need to respond. Because if you're going to tell her not to respond, you need to respond. But he did. After Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter, Dr. Bernice King, after she stood up for Angel, then Shaq stood up and called him out and said some other things that I think was an appropriate response because he was only doing it because he felt he could bully her because nobody would stand up for her because he knew the WNBA is biased against her, and they are. He figured she had no recourse. Nobody cared about her. So he thought he was going to kick on her and nobody would say anything. Her response to him should have been, "I'm going to sue you for harassment." She didn't even got to sue him. All she had to do was get a restraining order on him for harassment. I asked the internet, I said, what do you call it when a man continuously publicly embarrasses and humiliates a woman? Harassment, emotional abuse. The list went on and on and on. She, in my opinion, Angel Reese has nothing to lose by filing a restraining order against RG3 for harassment and emotional abuse. If Dr. Bernice King had to speak out and Shaq had to speak out and tell him to stop with some other words, show him the error of his ways, she should file a restraining order against him, and that's gonna nip that in the bud. Was there a restraining order filed in Quinshon Junkins' case? Hmm. So there you go. Um. So that's what we are. I think I got everybody. The only person I did not get to is Teddy Bridgewater. Let me see if I pull up this image. So I really wanted to talk about this. I looked into it yesterday. That Teddy Bridgewater was, y'all know he played for the Detroit Lions. They had him on a 1-year contract. What looks like, I didn't know if it was missing some zeros. If it said $210,000, I was like, geez. Because I know it wasn't 210 million, because that don't make sense for a 1-year contract. So I think he got paid $210,000 by the Detroit Lions for 1 year. And it seems that he used that money. He used that money to help. He was a volunteer coach. He wasn't even drawing a salary, right? So he was a volunteer for a few years in the stands. Then he became a volunteer head coach. He used part of his salary plus the money he already has to pay. I think I read about $70,000 towards Uber meals, recovery, training, doing what he felt like the team needed to be successful, and they won the state championship for, I think, the level 3A. They have 7 classes in. They have 7 classes there. And he's in Fort Lauderdale. No, not Fort Lauderdale. He's in Miami-Dade Public County Schools System, Liberty City, somewhere like that. So he took his money out of his pockets, did what he felt like these kids needed. Uber rides were one big thing. You know how sometimes the players need rides to practice. There are players that have lived with their coaches because they didn't have a way to get to practice. I think Travis's story involves something about a coach giving him a ride or two or something. And then LeBron's story might have been similar. Then again, maybe he rode his bike. But there are stories about, coaches helping these players get to practice when they see that these guys are good. So that's what he did. And he got suspended, right? Teddy Bridgewater got suspended because they said the benefits were impermissible. So he was paying for Uber rides, training, recovery that was impermissible by the school district. So the school itself, the Miami Northwestern High School, is who suspended him. But he wasn't even drawing a salary. I don't understand how you suspend people that don't have contracts, working for free. Right. This is why you don't do that. That's what happens. Right. It'll be different if he was drawing a salary and using that money or being paid or reimbursed for what he was doing. But that was his money. And I don't know why they suddenly said it was a problem. He said he was just going to go back to the stands and do what he did before. So he was in the stands. They let him onto the field. They won. He contributed. They won. And now they suspended him. This is his alma mater. He's going to go back to the stands. Let me know your thoughts there, because I don't know the area. I did some research. It says 75% of the kids are impoverished. But when I looked up the median home price, it was $500,000. I was like, well, where they living at then? If 75% of the kids are impoverished, but the median home value is $549,000, where they live at? I don't get that. So that's what that is. That's what that is. So y'all let me know y'all's thoughts about that. Let's see. It says Hill in Miami and he got paid already. Yeah, I know. You talking about Tyreek Hill? Yeah, we are talking about his situation from Kansas City. Tyreek Hill had a domestic violence charge in Kansas City several years back, and he's still in the league after that. And that had some stuff to it. And I remember people talking about that, wondering was the league going to keep him or not, but they did. So you could just Google it. It said Hill upset because St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, Chase, AJ Brown got new contracts after him when the market has gone up. Well, maybe they're going to use that domestic violence case on hanging over his head. That's why you don't let people, that's why you don't just pay that kind of stuff off, because I have something on you now. It said, all Tyreek need to do is finish his contract terms and come back to the negotiation table. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It said Shedeur posted, what did it say? It says Shedeur posted the other day. Time will tell. Yes. And see, my thing is, I feel like Shedeur is moving off faith. His faith in God. I think, what did Shedeur say before the draft? He's a child of God. He knows this. So he's making the right steps. He's doing the right thing. God opened the door against anybody's wisdom. You signed your contract, but God opened the door. You're supposed to sign your contract, right? If he opened the door against all odds, you sign your contract. You go there. It looks bleak. Let's see what happens. You either end up in a better place or you are being kept out of harm's way. When you look at the most sacked quarterbacks in the last 3 years, the majority of them are the first-year rookies. And guess who? Russell Wilson and Geno Smith. What did I just tell y'all about Geno Smith? He said they wrote him off, but he didn't write back. Like Shedeur, he stayed down, right? He stayed down. He's finally getting his opportunity, but what has it done? It's made him play longer to get less. It has negatively affected his career earnings. While stark contrast, Daniel Jones has failed over and over and over, but kept getting paid. So it makes their life harder. I wouldn't be in a hurry to sign it. So it said, if the Browns trade Shedeur, I think everyone who bought his jersey should send it back for a refund. Who did they buy the jerseys from? Like Fanatics? Is that where you get the jerseys from? All I know is he got a 12 on it, and I'm gonna wait till I see it too. I think if he goes somewhere else, he gonna get his jersey number. Now remember, Cleveland said the jersey numbers could change. The guy that has it is a third string. I saw something that flashed across the TV screen that said, it made me think of this situation. It was something similar to don't be too eager to like make up with people who tried to ruin you. As if we gonna get to a place with Shedeur where the league gonna be all smiling in his face. I see that. I see that because you can't hold him down. And at some point, I told y'all, I say, when y'all see all the owners somewhere, and scouting has to happen at recruiting. We talk, scouting has to happen at CU. We talked about that. What that's gonna look like, right? And against all odds, happens again while he's in Cleveland, and the door swing open, and he balls out and he wins. We gonna see these people descend on Cleveland wanting to shake his hand like we used to see Jerry Jones, grinning like a Cheshire cat. Because they didn't expect him to get drafted like that. They don't expect him to ascend to QB1. But with the roster that's in front of him, he definitely could do it through injury and failure. The question is how bad they're going to want to fail first. Right? So, I don't know if they're going to be getting their money back off those jerseys. At some point, they was ordering jerseys and he didn't even have no jersey number. So, I thought that was weird. I always thought the NFL Players Association was in the NFL's pocket. Yeah, because I can remember just our conversation years back with people talking about the difference between the NBA and the NFL. They alluded to either the players don't stand together, which we do see that with these rookies, right? Or the NFL Players Association doesn't stand up for the players. And now what did the collusion case show? That is the case. So why would you be eager to go sign one of these 9 guaranteed contracts when you see Travis got what he wanted? Maybe Ja'Day Barron got what he wanted. The first 2 guys in the second round got what they might have didn't even have to ask for it. But the rest of y'all, they don't appreciate. Why would you be so eager to get into a situation or a work contract with an organization who forces you to use arbitration, and arbitration don't help you either, and neither does the leader of the NFL Players Association. They don't help you either. That means y'all have no recourse. And some people like it like that. It said, no wonder CP is particular about who climbs on that boat. Yep. You see the pattern. You see the pattern. see it. I'm like, maybe she ought to go swim with his daddy. Coach Prime is going out there, right? And the way he's received is going to tell him everything, right? What did they say? Shiloh's good, but we don't think we have space for him. He fourth on the depth chart. How you don't have space for him? They named 4 other people. Sound like they're going to boot him out the way. That's what it sounds like. So it will feed into what I was saying from the draft. Let's see who make the roster. It said going. What does that say? Gone fishing. I will put the sign out in the yard. Facts. Like that's I did not expect that. I watched that interview. I watched him go fishing. I heard what he said. I did not expect that. That tells you that is beyond Colorado. That tells you this man could have his own league like that. Like, come on. That's what it tells you. That's what it tells you. The prime effect. It's real. It's real. And the NFL is scared of it. That's what it is. See, the NFL is scared. See, I can't treat Shedeur like I did PJ Walker, DTR, Deshaun Watson, or any of them in Cleveland. I can't. That's why I say I think they're going to trade him at the 11th hour. Because if they keep him and they trash and they refuse to play him, or they play him and he get hurt, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. That's why I'm telling y'all, I think part of the way a Shedeur not playing in Cleveland, they don't have an O-line. The one they have, they just putting a hodgepodge of people together. And the guys that they got, none of them were starters. Do y'all want to see Shedeur behind another bad O-line? No. So like Shedeur said, I can wait. But as a fan, I don't want him in Cleveland. Because they put that together. You knew, you pre-draft with this young man extensively, but you didn't get an O-line. So you wasted his time. Fraud. You set him up. So that's why I want Shedeur out of Cleveland. And if they trade him, it's going to be at the last minute. And just look at Geno Smith's career and you can see what they're going to try to do. But see, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. But they're going to try it, though. Coach Prime also said that Travis had another year. He could come back to see you. What? I didn't hear that. Okay. And that would have been good for Travis for a number of reasons, but that would have been good. So, you know, oh, okay. Grace is saying hi to people. It said that's why Shaq did. Yeah, I'm glad Shaq spoke up for Angel. Like see, people bully you. Oh, hold on one second. One moment. So people bully you when they think you don't have nobody. That's what he was doing. And he knew, well, the WNBA ain't going to say nothing. Well, she got family, fool. Well, her mom ain't going to say nothing. I'm like, okay. That's what needed to happen. Dr. Bernice King and Shaq, and that's what needed to happen. One was a woman and one was a man. They both black, but it needed to happen. And somebody needed to put him in his place. You know, I heard different people say different things. Like, you know, you got your podcast as if he's doing it because he wants his podcast to get somewhere. I don't think that's why he's doing it. I think he's jealous because Angel Reese loves herself. And it's obvious that he struggles with finding acceptance with who he is. And it has a lot to do with his melanin. But I'll tell anybody, melanin is $10,000 an ounce. That's why they don't want you to love yourself. You got it. That's higher than gold, right? But he can't appreciate either his blackness or anybody's blackness. I'm not really sure what the issue is. He needs to sit on somebody's couch and be honest. But what irritates him about her is that she is unapologetically herself. She loves herself as she should. Like, it's like he's upset. Well, she loves herself, but I can't feel the same appreciation for myself that she feels. Well, that's on you, partner. 1-800-BETTER-HELP is the number. So I'm happy that Shaq spoke up. I'm happy that Dr. Bernice King spoke up because the community needed to rally around Angel Reese against other black people. That's what you have to do sometimes. We're not all on the same page, you know. We should be, but then you have these corporations like Target, right? using black men because who was supposedly instrumental in the boycott. So now you see them using Kai Cenat and Travis Hunter to do their marketing to bring people back, because we about to get into the holidays, back to school shopping and holidays. So because you had a lot of black women holding out against the boycott, and some other people too. These companies were trying to figure out how to be boycott proof, so they know who their shoppers are. So since you're my shoppers, I'm gonna go ahead on and get this group. So they went and got black men. They went and got Kai Cenat, and they went and got Travis. But see, this is the thing about Kai Cenat, which I don't think he has realized, or he has, and it don't bother him. Kai Cenat is part of a group, AMP, right? I watched their page, love them. They're a group. And I thought it was, I was like, God, all of these guys, right? All of these guys got together and became successful from streaming. And then they have their own product, Tone. I think it's like a body product, right? So it starts with you see Kai Cenat, but it's Duke Dennis, Agent, and the other, it's like 5 of them, I think, right? And it's just like Kendrick Lamar said, oh, you want to bring your friend too. So what you see them doing is pulling Kai Cenat out the group. It's really a group, but it's just like anything else. You pull one person out the group, and then everybody else, got to make it on their own, or they do well when they get together. But they're a group. I don't know why all 5 of them can't go at the same time, because they are a group. But that's what Kendrick Lamar said. That's what he was talking about. Oh, you want to bring your homeboy too. What did they say about Shedeur? He has an entourage. So only one of you could benefit. So it looked like Kai Cenat got roped in by Target at the worst time possible, right? For his product that he been having. He been having this product. They actually was selling it on their website. They sold out like that. So all of a sudden, Target wants to make him a deal and market it exclusively at Target, bringing Kai Cenat into the fold. Kai Cenat is friends with who? Travis Hunter. So now they got Travis Hunter. And I'm like, fellas, then neither one of y'all know we in the middle of a boycott against Target. I'm like, but that's how they do. You've been peddling this product on your own all the time, and now black people don't fool me. So I'm going to go get you, even though you part of a group, I'm going to go get you, and then you go get him, and y'all going to stand against your community. That's what's happening. Sometimes you have to stop and say, you know what? No, thank you. Or I'm going to keep, because you've been peddling this product on your own. They ain't want it before. But now that black people are shopping and they desperate to get black people back, I'm going to go get you. But I want you and your whole group. I want you. They started that product as a group, but they got him in the ads. And it started with him taking somebody else's kids on a shopping spree. So we would tune into that. I was like, I see straight through this. And then it moves on to the product is only at Target, and then it moves on to Travis Hunter. I'm like, fellas. Y'all got to realize they pulling you apart from your community, making you turn and stand against your community. This is what happened. This is an old playbook. It's just an old playbook. So shout out to Dr. Bernice King. Shout out to Shaq for standing up for Angel Reese and putting RG3 in his place, that he has no right to harass and abuse her. And because he thinks she doesn't have anybody to stand up for her, well, she does. So hopefully that puts that to end. But if he does it again, Angel Reese, you can file a restraining order against him for harassment and abuse, and that ought to shut it up. So that's what that is. It said Ryan Clark put his job on the line for Angel Reese. I don't think what he said was wrong. I think Ryan Clark is in a situation. See, what's the difference between Ryan Clark and Shaq? What's the difference? You're not canceling Shaq. No corporation is canceling Shaq because he owns too much. I didn't know he owns 5 guys. He owns so much. It's a laundry list of things. And he don't just own one franchise, like 55 or 200 or this, that, and the other. You see, Shaq can say what he want to say. See, Ryan Clark did the right thing, but he didn't think he would get backlash for standing up for a black woman. See, that was the message. You're not supposed to do that, right? You're not supposed to do that. Maybe Teddy Bridgewater is not supposed to use his NFL money to help these kids get better so they can win a championship. That's not why we gave it to you, right? Maybe the people that they lost to had a problem with. He not a real coach. He don't get a salary. He giving them an unfair advantage. They can't even make it to practice because they too poor, and he helping them to get there. And because he helped them to get there, then they got better and they won. It could very well be the case. Somebody complained. He been there since 2018 in the stands, spending his money then, right? But now it's the problem that they won the state championship. They see Shedeur doing good. We know he's a good person, right? He don't really have nothing to prove, but he just doing what he does. They could have went and did that. Did they? No. They don't want you to help your own people, but they're going to pull you against your own people and make you stand against your community. Travis, Kai Sanat, same thing. And they pulled him away from the group first. I'm like, he missed that clue first. He missed that clue first. I was like, I realized that before I even knew about this. I said, so he don't see them pulling them away from his group, so it could just be him. Because I can't control all of them. I can control you. And did. Yeah, Ryan Clark, I thought what Ryan Clark did good. He should have never walked it back. Why did Ryan Clark walk it back? Because he has to answer to people. The pivot is his, but doesn't he work somewhere else? Okay, then that's why. Right? And those people didn't want him standing up for who? A black woman. Shaq could do it because Shaq don't have to answer to nobody. It's going to take a long time before you can hurt him. He's invested in too much. He has partnerships and ownerships and equity in too much. I got blocked for telling the podcaster off about RG3. Oh, somebody blocked you, Blue Moon. Yeah, that's what people do. That's what they do. That's what they do. That's what they do. And that's okay. It said, Shaq let dude know treading is dangerous. He's treading in dangerous waters. Right, Michael? That's what he needs to do. Hey, how you doing? What's up? It says suspension from an organization he isn't employed by. Thank you. I said the same thing on X. Somebody said Quinshon Junkins might be suspended. I said he don't have no employment contract. You can't suspend a man that don't work there. He don't have an employment contract. I said, in fact, that brings up a bigger conversation. That brings up a bigger conversation. Y'all got people working for free? That's the violation of something. So Quinshon Junkins should take this opportunity to employ the Shannon Sharpe process of stepping away, but staying ready, clearing your name, so nobody shake you down in this personal situation, and so the NFL don't shake you down either. Because hell, you really don't know where this situation came from. So you can't sit up here and assume that everybody plays nice, because we saw what happened, how Shedeur was plotted against in the draft. You saw that the collusion case, the NFL Players Association leader was working with the NFL. So when people show you what they're capable of, you need critical thinking and be like, hey, wait, time out. I'm not signing this. I'm not accepting that. And I'm not giving you this either. I'm going to take the time to step away. What happens if he step away? He got more to gain if he step away. He got more to lose if he stay and sign. It said, I think Teddy Bridgewater got 1.2 million. I hope so. I hope so. I was like, wait, what? That can't be right. I'm like, $210,000 is not a lot of money. But again, I was like, whatever. I'm going to just keep it pushing because that's crazy. It said they wanted all the money to go to their bank accounts so they could take part of it. You know what, K. Hayes? That's what I was thinking. I said, why do I feel like they upset with him? Because he directly paid the players, or not the players, but for the Uber rides. He just paid for the Uber rides. You can order all the Uber rides or whatever, or you can, I don't know how he did it, but he set up all of these Uber rides. He had trucks, the recovery vehicles to come out and help the kids with their training and recovery. So I kind of feel like I even looked up how much the principal made. It said he spent 70,000, but the principal makes 100,000. I said, well, if that's how much the principal make, how much the teachers make? So it just seems to me that after he won a championship, it became a problem. And the question is, where did it become a problem from? Of course, Miami Northwestern handed down the suspension, but where did the conversation start? He been out there since 2018, he said. And that's his alma mater. So, I was like, they probably want the money. That's what I said, K. Hayes. That's what I said. Travis Hunter high school teammates gave him the utmost. What you talking about, Blue Moon? It said, God bless Teddy Bridgewater. Those kids need a mentor. Right. But see, this goes back to what I said. We're not supposed to help each other. We're not supposed to help each other. They pulled Kai Cenat out of his group, and you only see one instead of seeing 5 Black successful men in a group doing it for themselves. You see one. You see, they don't want this. This came from somewhere. That's why I was looking into, let me see who live around here. Let me see who won the championship last year. Let me see what school they lost to. They beat somebody 49-0. I'm like, I know some of them parents at them other schools, that maybe the ones that live in the $549,000 houses, was PO'd because they kids lost to kids who needed rides to school. Yeah. We're not supposed to help each other. And maybe Costa not thinking he helping by getting Travis, but he know Travis is popular too. But he not thinking about that he done linked up with Target, who did what, right? This is the reason why Black people were stepping away. But that's an old playbook. That's an old playbook. I'm going to give one Black person something, throw the money in their face, separate them from everybody else, and then make them stand against their community. Then I don't want y'all to help each other. So hopefully Travis recognizes that, but he got people, so we shall see. These schools on all levels are controlled by gatekeepers. They don't have the best students at heart. We need more Coach Teddy's in our lives, right? Because when I looked up their reading comprehension, I was like, this can't be right. I see it. They just don't want them kids to succeed. That's all. They feel like they want. See, some people want to feel better than they feel better. I'm living in a $500,000 house. Clearly, y'all not, because somebody got to get you right to school. And y'all not supposed to be victorious. That's what that is. That's what that is. And he knows it. He went to school there. He know what it's like. He know what's going on. K. Hayes say they got the jerseys from Fanatics. Okay. Florida Athletics High School Association got involved after Bridgewater posted on social media for donations to help recoup his money back. Okay. So he asked to help recoup his money back because he's not salaried. See, they was okay with him not being salaried and taking him to the championship. But when he let me help get some of the money back, then now it's a problem. And maybe being in the stands is better because nobody else is going to help. And maybe that's what it was. People see all the good he's doing, but they don't want to help. K. Hayes said, it came from the NFL site. Okay, so K. Hayes is saying the jersey came from Fanatics, the NFL site. I think some of them came from the Cleveland site. So it's various places that they came from. So, Shedeur is live on Twitch right now. Okay, good. I wonder if he's at his event, the Fan Fest, because they talked about it on the local news in Cleveland. It says $700 Uber, $1,300 pregame meals, and $2,000 electric recovery. They came in because he knows permissible gifts are a violation. It was the school, it was the governing body in Florida, but they let him do it all this time. And he won the championship, and now it's a problem. True, Shedeur needs to realize that he cannot change these owners. Fiscal conservative mindset, know their enemy. Fiscal conservative, that's what you think? That's what you call them? That's what you call them, fiscal conservative? That's interesting. Okay. I wish that's all it was. It says, plus they go to arbitration, get a ruling, then Goodell can still overturn it. What's the point of arbitration? So you don't have no recourse. Just like their contracts are one-sided as hell. Source is CBS News Miami. Okay, thank you, James. That's what James said he got the info from. It said, thank you. People pushing for him to start based on college, the NFL is bigger, stronger, and faster. He can get seriously injured. He should be a starter. I'm sorry. He should be a starter, K. Hayes. Don't misunderstand me. He should be a starter on a team that has an O-line. Cleveland does not, or we don't know if they do. They didn't have one last year. They went and got a bunch of non-starters to put on it. They need time to gel and work together. That's what training camp probably supposed to be for, but it's not enough time for that. So I can just see it being used to hurt him. So I say no. I say no. What? Salafi's put in a number for 1-800-partner. I don't know. It says she reached out and touched your boy like AT&T. No affiliation with the phone company, but so benefited for the moment. Yep, you're talking about Dr. Bernice King. Yep. Kai is not exactly for the community. He said black people have no culture. Okay. Is he Jamaican or something? Jamaican or our cousins sometimes don't like us. So they need us. Okay. Well, there you go, K. Hayes. That explains everything, doesn't it? Robert Griffin. Hey, Kiel, welcome back. This is one of my day ones, Kiel and Gracie. 400 Circle Media. I've been rocking with me since day one. James, welcome back. It said Robert Griffin, he likes to play in the snow. That's his problem. See, he thought because he don't like black women, that maybe nobody else should, or he thought that, and his mom black. I don't understand that disconnect. I'm like, did his mom abandon him or something? Because I'm not really certain where all of this negativity about black women or Angel Reese is coming from, other than he clearly does not take pride in his blackness, and she does. It's obvious that that's what's going on. It said Kastanat, he does not believe that black Americans have culture. Then he's cosplaying as a black American. Oh, he's Haitian descent. Oh, okay. Well, he gonna learn the hard way. He gonna learn the hard way then. And he's getting his identity. Hopefully he'll come back to his senses. Oh, yeah. I don't know. Does that ever really happen? Do they really come back to their senses? Black people have to stand strong for black folks, right? And we see that. That's why there's so much. That's why you see so many of these podcasts dividing men and women. That's why you see it. That's why rap music has gone the way it has for men. That's why it's starting to go the same way for women. It's just nothing but division. But what people don't understand is rap music is this much of black culture. I don't really listen to rap music. I like Gunna, but I don't really listen to Gunna like that, right? But I like Gunna because one, he got a 7 on 17 that played at the Rose Bowl, and I'm like, I use that as if he could do it, y'all could do it, right? So it's crazy how people try to tear down a community that they don't understand, and that's why they're not successful. So yeah, black people have to stand strong for black people. Facts. It said Shaq also gave Angel Reese the sneaker deal. What Reebok, right? She chose to sign with them. I heard she could have signed elsewhere, but she chose to sign with them. Superstar Bella, grown people will shop. Who shop will not follow Kai or Travis. Women do most of the shopping. Yeah, that's why I said they trying to figure out how to become boycott resistant. So they figure they'll use the men. That's what I was saying. So yes, you are right about that. Salafi, the difference is Shaq will stomp a mud hole. Can you imagine that size 16 sideways? Ryan spoke out again about that picture. He should have. And that picture, that act was, see, the reason why he did it was because Ryan Clark retreated after he got his collar pulled. He should have never retreated. But he clearly loves his job. So he chose his job. And if you have the pivot, maybe it was time to let that job go. Because how they gonna let you not stand up for people that look like you and tell the truth? They always go for the weakest link, right, Tina? Tina, that's it. Just put a crown on Tina for the day. Tina, this is your crown right here. That's it. They always go for the weakest link. That's it. That's it. This has happened so many times. I think if y'all could just sit down through history and think, this has happened so many times. Suspended. He doesn't even work there. Right. That go for Quishon Junkins and that go for Teddy Bridgewater. How do you suspend somebody that doesn't work there? They suspended him because it looks bad that he did all of that and they did nothing for those kids. That's why they suspended him. That's why. We can't have him out here paying out of his pocket and stuff like that because no. And the conversation only came from somewhere. So it's that Bridgewater is not employed either. So what is the suspension doing to him? JG, I said the same thing about Quinshon Judkins and every other NFL rookie who has not signed his contract. I'm like, how you gonna suspend you when you don't work there? Talking about suspending him. I'm like, he ain't signed nothing. He shouldn't even be up there. That's why Shamar Stewart didn't show up. And if you notice, they only wanted to talk about Shamar Stewart because he wasn't working out. They thought they could use the media to force Shamar Stewart. He didn't even show up. Nor should he. What he said is right. These guys got money coming out of college. Learn from Shannon Sharpe. Don't let people extort you. Don't let these people extort you. And you shouldn't be proud. You should not be surprised at this point that this league will take advantage of you. It is set up for that. Look at what they did to Shedeur, and y'all know his daddy. They just had him on the stage at the Super Bowl, and they thought that was enough to coax him in and dull his sense and awareness so they could just bam, and that's what they did. That ain't on Coach Prime. When people betray you like that, that's why I hurt him so bad. Should nobody want to go there personally. But what did Tina say? They're going to take the weakest link. So they'll still suspend him after he signs. Not if he stays out. If he stays out and he proves, just like Xavier Worthy did, if his situation proves, see, everybody assuming he was the aggressor. You don't know that. That's why I said Xavier Worthy's case is a case study that everybody needs to move forward with, right? We don't know. He when he said, I'm done with you, we need camera footage to see how did she get to the car. She's telling the police, I thought we could work it out. Didn't he say in the airport, I'm done with you? There's a whole lot that happened after that. One thing, and this is a lesson for him and all these other young men, if you in the airport, then maybe you need to get back on the plane and go home. Get the travel insurance so you can cancel that rental car. But you should not be leaving there with somebody else that you have said, I am done with you, because then people start getting ideas. Oh, I'm not leaving here empty-handed. I'm not leaving this situation empty-handed. I am done with you. She tells the police what? Well, I thought we could work it out, but obviously we couldn't. So you want to make a police report because y'all couldn't work it out? That's extortion. He said, I am done with you in the airport. No, I would not sign my NFL contract if they can't treat me like they respect me and the rest of the players. I will take the time to deal with this and get a 2-for-1 and move on with my life. So they can, but I wouldn't let that hang around my neck. Not if I didn't do it. Xavier Worthy, it's not hanging on his neck. So just because she said he hit her don't mean he was the aggressor. And that's why Xavier Worthy's case was dropped. Shaq partners with Papa John's Pizza. Yeah, he owns a lot of places. I read the Bridgewater issue started with the parents at the school because he asked for donations from the parents. Right. So basically he did all of this. They watched it. It didn't help. So he went and asked publicly to be reimbursed, and they didn't help. So what did he say? I just stay in the stands. Okay. So the teachers or nobody else helped? The PTO? Shedeur doing that fun festival from 4 to 8 today. Okay. All right. Yeah. They had a fire at the apartment complex. And we already know Papa John's had their issues. Krispy Kreme. Yep, he owns Krispy Kreme too. He owns a lot of stuff. Let's just see. It's a lot. I heard somebody rattling off the list. I was like, man, I don't understand. Can't see through the BS after allowing themselves to be used for money. Right. But what did they just say about Kai Cenat? He's not a Black American. Or he's only half a Black American. He doesn't view himself as that. That's usually the ones they go get, though. When people let it be known that they don't respect their Blackness, that's what they go get. Greetings, Wild Dog. How you doing? I was speaking with him, started for Cleveland for game 1. I wanted to see that O-line first, right? Yeah. That's how I feel too, K-Hayes. I agree with you on that. Yes, I know what they are. I know what they are, keeping it clean. This Teddy B nonsense has me in an uproar. And the parents should help. I'm like, I get it. You don't have no money, but you could do something. You could do something. Kai Cenat is a first generation American. Okay, he's first generation American. Then why would you say something like that? That's crazy. We have to play the game, and the least is The least is voting. Oh, that's definitely the least because we did that, right? 40% is sad and getting us ignored, screwed, and tattooed. Not tattooed, wild dog. Where did tattoo come from? Travis may not be looking for more controversy so soon. Nah, he not. Speak the truth. Speak the truth. Yeah, he not. I, I don't. I don't know what he know. He just know a friend asked him to do something, but he probably didn't think about the consequences either. They want to control Teddy B's spending and fundraising. I believe that. I believe that. Oh, Quinn, Tina says she accept the crown. That's it. That's it. Tina gets the crown for the day because what she said. I mean, that's it. They always get the weakest link. That's just what it is. And we got to remember that when we dealing with people. You want to know, are you dealing with, are you a weak link? Or are you going to be somebody that stands on business? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it would frustrate me to hang out with somebody who don't have any respect for community. Because that's how they going to get you. I go straight to the athletic director and coordinate with a specific coach when I move. Principal, parents group, and boosters hate on me. Yeah, I think those people want to have the control. I think that's why you involved with PTO to that extent. Black man has no friends. That's true. Johnny Rick Clark said that. Blue Moon. August 8th, NFL preseason game. Cleveland Browns will be down here in Charlotte. I will be in Waldorf, Maryland. But y'all gonna see Sanders get lit. Okay. We gonna see. I did hear that they the preseason game is in Charlotte. Okay, I thought it was in Cleveland. All right, James, we probably gonna be watching that one. Elliott wasn't charged or arrested. Elliott? Who we talking about? The NFL investigator said they didn't believe the woman and recommended no suspension. Goodell still suspended him. I guess it depends on the player. Right, of course it depends on the player. Because nobody's talking about Aaron Rodgers and what Danica Patrick said but me. And Danica Patrick, I hope they don't act like the fool at the fest. It's little kids. He probably gonna have it so where they just, focus on the kids. You just never know. It says Shaq connected to venture capital groups, so his portfolio is so rich and diverse with little to no effect on his. Yeah, I mean, you Shaq can say that. And honestly, to be honest with you, so could Ryan Clark. But see, when Ryan Clark job gave him pushback, he had to make a decision, and he chose himself. He did. He chose himself. He could have said, you know what, I got the pivot, I'm out. But he chose himself. He knew that was wrong. And then, I mean, you just need a guy to come back and bring the situation. And that's why he did it again. Because Ryan Clark retreated. And it happened again. So Ryan Clark could see, I shouldn't have backed down. I should have chosen what was right. But he chose himself. And you know what? If you want to choose yourself temporarily. Until you get what you need from them, and then you move on because they have told you they don't respect women who have the same melanin that you have. How can you work somewhere like that, right? That's why people boycotted Target. But see, people don't know about Target. See, people don't know that Target got hit. They got in trouble years ago for discriminating against Black and brown applicants who wanted to work there. They didn't want to hire them. So this round too. But this outcome is way worse than what happened before. They kept that quiet. It was in the news though. All right, well, we're going to get out of here. This was fun, y'all. This was fun. Tina gets the crown of the day. They always choose the weakest link. So choose your associates carefully. If you don't make the sacrifice, you will become the sacrifice. I am very, very proud of Shaq for putting RG3 in his place where Ryan Clark attempted to, but it didn't hold. And now I think Ryan Clark sees the light. So at least he tried. At least he tried. But sometimes you gotta make the sacrifice so you don't become the sacrifice. And then, Quinshon Junkins needs to just learn, take a page out of Shannon Sharpe playbook. If people don't value you, don't be in a rush to sign anything that you can't quickly get out of. Even though Coach Prime is not your coach, the message still applies. The man is a legend and an NFL Hall of Famer. He know what he's talking about. And then camp starts in about 48 hours, somewhere around there. 48, 50 hours, 60 maybe, I don't know. We'll be paying attention. I personally, want Shedeur out of Cleveland. So I'll be paying attention to all the guys. When y'all find out the Carolina Panthers started camp, Tampa Bay started camp, let me know. And the other teams that we have players on, Miami, Arizona, let me know so we can start looking and seeing how things are going in training camp. I want to know what the expectations are for training camp. For every team, the Buffs have a pro player. That's what I want to know. So if you already know, feel free to start. We can continue the conversation in the chat. What are the expectations for training camp for the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, Tampa Bay Bucks, Carolina Panthers, the Miami Dolphins, and Arizona Cardinals? Did I leave anybody out? All right. That's it. We're going to leave it right there. All right, y'all. We're going to see y'all later. This was awesome. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports for the Midday Huddle. We'll be back tonight at 9:30 p.m. and we'll let the topics of the day drive our conversation. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you, everybody. Let's continue the conversation in the chat. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay for another video.